Hello there, my name's Cademan. I am the creator of the cartoon series Men with Umbrellas, which Season 1 has just come out. That will be linked in the description if you want to check it out. But this video is really just me wanting to say thank you to all the people that were involved in this project. This is a very ambitious project on my part, and it wouldn't be anywhere near as good if I had to do it completely on my own. So, thank you to everyone who I was able to convince to do voice acting. My sister, who wrote the descriptions for every episode, thank you. And I just want to express how cool it was actually to get this made. And because this is really quite crazy for me. When I was a little kid, I would always draw these comics, and I wasn't really good at drawing for a long time, but I just loved the idea of creating worlds, that I would keep drawing these comics. And I knew I wasn't the best at drawing, but I also knew as I drew more, I could get better at it. All the way to now, when I'm an adult man, and I was able to make this cartoon. And it doesn't necessarily look the best. It's not necessarily written the best. I'm sure there's much more talented writers that could have written a similar story much better than I did. And I can guarantee there's much better animators that could have animated the story much better than I did. But at the end of the day, it was so cool just having a creative vision and following it through beginning to end all the way to the first premiere at the beginning of October. And, a huge thanks to all the people who were watching it at its first premiere. There was way more people watching than I expected. I actually got home from doing some grocery shopping and turned on the premiere. It was halfway through. But I was quite surprised by all the people who just happened to tune in when it first came out. Not by any means an astronomical number, but much more than I expected. So thank you for that. But yeah, again, it's so cool to see this idea I had actually work into a physical project. And I hope to be able to keep working on stuff. Season 2, which will come out next October, is already in the works. I have the scripts almost completely written. I'm just now getting voice acting in, so I can start the animation process. I'm excited about that. Hopefully it will look a little bit better than Season 1, maybe written a little bit better. I definitely learned a lot as far as animation goes in the Season 1. The one last point I want to make here in this little video of just rambling a lot is I want to say, if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I wish I could make a cartoon, or I wish I could, maybe you want to write a novel, maybe you want to make anything else, maybe you want to do a comic book, right? Something like that. I would encourage you to not just look and see it as something like a pipe dream, where you're like, oh, I really wish I could write a book, but that would never happen. I would like to say, hey, if you're willing to actually put the time into something, you can make something. And like you might think, oh, it won't be very good though. And like I'm sure that is whenever someone picks up a pencil the first time, they aren't going to draw very well. But then as you do it, you get better at it. And I think, of course, the first things you create won't be very good, but if you put out more and more stuff, you're going to get better and better, and you're going to make some cool stuff. So, like, if I had the ability to create these 4 episodes of a silly, ambitious, crazy cartoon, if I was able to pull that off, you're able to pull off something similar. And I believe that you could actually pull off something much better than I could do, because you're probably better at some things than I am. I personally don't think I'm the best writer. I think I have good ideas, but I sometimes lack the sort of cohesion in those ideas. So maybe that's something you're better at. Maybe you're a better artist than me, right? And I think, like, you might be thinking, oh yeah, oh that's great, I'm a pretty good artist, or I'm a pretty good writer, but is it really worth it? And to that I would say, like these creative projects, they mean a lot to people, right? When I was growing up on Batman and Spider-Man, that was something that was very special to me. And if no one ever created those characters, then, that would have been a great loss. So I think that you're going to create something that is actually possibly going to influence someone really hard, and is going to alter the way they think. They're going to learn from your art, because that's something. What art is it's something like attaching to someone else's like sort of intimate thoughts and connecting with it in a way where you learn how to think like this other person, and you learn, like, you have this shared world or like creative vision with them for, like, as long as that book or movie or whatever is. I'm just rambling at this point, but at the end of the day, my point is, if I can do something like this, you can do something like this probably much better than I can. And I think it has the chance to really influence someone, because no one else can come up with the ideas you can come up with, right? So show the world your creative ideas. Maybe you're watching this and you're like, oh, you don't know who you're talking to. I'm not a creative person. And that's fair enough. If you're someone who doesn't have any interest in making anything, I'm not going to tell you that you have to be that person or you have to do that thing. But still, I do want to say that, if you have any sort of passion, then I would encourage you to pursue that passion. And I think you can do a lot from that, and it can help other people, and it can help you. And again, like, I'm just a weird 22-year-old who has an animation program and, way too many ambitious ideas for one brain to hold. That's who I am. I'm a silly boy who likes telling stories, and I like having visuals to go along with those stories, and I like sharing those things with people. And a lot of times people really enjoy to have those things shared with them, as evident by all the people who actually tuned in for the first episode. um, it's so cool that I've been able to do this. And yeah, you can do it too. If you're watching this, I want you to create that thing, follow that passion, write that song, write that book, write that comic book. I want to be able to read that. So, you know, you you can do that. I'm repeating myself now. Um, maybe maybe I'll edit parts of this down when I repeat myself too much. But yeah, it's just I am just feeling very proud of what I came up with. I know it's not perfect, animation not the best, writing not the best, but I sort of bit off what what at times seemed like more than I could chew, but I said, you know what? I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to fully commit to doing this, and it's paid off because I created something I'm proud of. Yeah, I need to probably end this here because before I start repeating myself again. But it's just so cool how I always wanted to create things like this. And now I've created the beginning of something, and I'm going to try and get better at animation. I'm going to try and get better at writing. And Lord willing, I'll have the time after work to be able to create some really cool stuff for you or your kids or people. I want to create more cool stuff, and I feel like I have so much that I want to create. And if you're there to consume it, I will continue to make it, and I will continue to improve, and I will continue to sacrifice free time because I just love making stuff that much. So yeah, that's where we'll end the video. But yes, I want to see what you have to make. Please make it, and let's party. Let's create a creative renaissance of independent artists who are making better movies than the people with the money. I think that we can do it. I think you're better storytellers than the people who make the money. I think you're more creative in many ways than the people in Hollywood. So let's create something big and something that we can share, something awesome. And don't forget to brush your teeth. Your breath stinks. Okay, bye.